Hawkins.
Hi, welcome to Life on the Rock, and tonight our guests are the Students for Life of America. We have Kristin Hawkins, the Executive Director, and Meghan Redman, who started a special initiative for student mothers on campus. So they're going to be talking about their work tonight and sharing the pro-life message and giving us some energy for the pro-life cause, right? They're out there, boots on the ground, doing great work, and some real social justice aspects of the pro-life movement that I'm excited about. Doug, good to see you.
You too, Father.
And we have our brother friars here, Father Joseph and Father Anthony. I wanted to talk about, if you watch the Daily Mass, you've seen that we've been celebrating our anniversary. We're 25 years. The Franciscan missionaries of the Eternal Word have existed for 25 years. Now I'm going to read a bit of scripture, and I'm going to see what this means to you. And this is in relationship to our community. This is Ezekiel 34. I myself will be the shepherd of my sheep, and I will make them lie down, says the Lord God. I will seek the lost. I will bring back the strayed, and I will bind up the crippled. And I will strengthen the weak, and the fat and the strong I will watch over. I will feed them in justice. What does that mean?
Wow. Who wants to go first?
That is our motto, and that's our way of life, is to seek out the lost, to bring back the strays. And so the Lord's given us this wonderful vehicle to enable us to be able to do that, to reach people where they are in front of their television sets. And there are many stories that we could tell about that.
Right. I know you're good at collecting those stories too, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But just to say, Mother Angelica is our foundress, and she wanted us to reach the man in the pew, and especially maybe those who have strayed. I like to think of it as awakening the sleeping giant. We have many Catholics today. We've kind of fallen asleep in our baptismal vows and promises, the graces we've been given, and we need to reinvigorate that. But tell us the story, Father Joseph. Have you heard some good conversions?
Yeah, I was thinking, Father Anthony asked me to write a newsletter article for our newsletter on our 25th anniversary, and I was asking myself the question, what's the most memorable thing, the most important thing that's happened these past 25 years? And for me, it's those people that have come back, that we get to see some of the fruits of our work, of our sacrifice, of our prayer. And so I remember vividly these two men who had come up to the friary, and big smile, a very, very tall man, who said that they had just been released from prison, and that while they were in prison, they came across EWTN, and that's what led them back to God. But the prison administration wanted to replace EWTN with a movie channel. But they rose up along with others and said, no, we want to keep EWTN. And so it was something that had impacted their lives so much that they wanted to keep it to have that.
Right. And Father Anthony, does that inspire you a lot to know that we're reaching people through the network and other means?
It does, and I think also you use the word reinvigorate, and to stir up the faith of those sitting in the pew, to confirm them in their faith, to help them live out their faith more actively in apostolic efforts in the church. But so many letters that you receive of people, or contacts that we get of people who are listening, and it's usually on a day when you're not on. You leave the Mass and you think that homily was horrible, it didn't work, nothing came together, and all of a sudden that's exactly what I needed to hear. Right. It's like, okay, well, it's the Holy Spirit's work, not ours.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit converts. Well, I hope tonight we could chat a little bit about our charism, to tell people about our community. Now, we have a monstrance sewn on our chest. What is that about?
Right, and this is something that the sisters as well have, as a monstrance that they wear in the front of their habit, as we do, that in the center of our work here has always been adoration of the Most Blessed Sacrament. Of course, Mother Angelica's community, founded back in 1854, are the Poor Clares of Perpetual Adoration. So their life is devoted to adoration, and when we began our community, this was something really unique, that a community of men dedicated to adoration as well, but also active in using the modern means of communication to evangelize.
Right.
And I think many times when you hear stories of the early days when Mother was here in the Deep South, And people driving by or coming in, they were looking for something, and Mother would bring them to the chapel and introduce them to Jesus, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This is who you're looking for. And that is such a key to evangelization. Who are we inviting people to find but Christ? You know,
Right.
to bring Christ to them and bring them to Jesus.
Father Anthony, can you talk about the inspiration that Mother has been personally for you in your vocation?
Sure. I don't want to say I was terrified from her, but I came in the time at EWTN when Mother was really in her prime. So you're intimidated. And as a young man visiting, we'd be asked to just stay behind. Mother would give a lesson to the brothers, and then the visitor would be asked to just stay there alone with Mother. And her question was so simple: what is it that you seek? And just to encourage. And I was really impressed with her kindness and how real she was. You know, here's this woman who is sitting on international television, and so many people want to know her, and yet she just talked to you like regular, called you honey, and things like that. But I think just kind of she was in love with the Lord, and you could tell that, and that's what she wanted to share with people. I think in my own attraction to the community, I didn't see EWTN a lot, but to come, and it was just a small group of brothers here, but the spirit of fraternity, and there's an energy that the brothers have among one another. There's a sincere love that they had for each other. I hope they still have that love for each other, and it is attractive.
Well, there's things I know that I can't talk about on camera about the way you all get along. I don't want to go there right now. How do you think St. Francis of Assisi would look at our world today and using television as a means of evangelization? I mean, here was a guy who, you know, walked and climbed and crawled everywhere and preached so amazingly. And how do you think he would fit in today's world with the television?
Yeah, I think that's the vocation that St. Francis had was, Francis, go rebuild my church. And so we see that as part of our role too, like Father Mark said, to awaken the sleeping giant. And this was one of the things that Mother talked about in our own charism, fallen away Catholics. You know, the confessional, we hear many confessions as well. And that's one of the delights, that we have many people who pass through here, some of them away for decades, who return to God here because EWTN's impacted them. They want to be reconciled to God here. So going and rebuilding the church, I think that's one of the ways that we live the Franciscan charism.
And we should say as well that part of our work is with the Shrine of the Most Blessed Sacrament up in Hansville, and that's been a very powerful thing for me this year too. I've been up there on Mondays, and just the other day I was up there and they had a woman visitor come, and I remember I just saw her. She was obviously had some illness, physical illness, and she was praying with such devotion, I remember, in the lower church. And it just struck me, you know, these people are coming here, you know, to find God and to seek help and strength. And that's part of our work too. I know, Father Joseph, you've been up there a lot, and you speak about how God uses the shrine.
Yeah, I've heard many stories just walking across that piazza in front of the main church there. I remember a man who had a little girl, 3 years old, and he said that they had come, he and his wife had gone there a few years before because his wife wanted to have another child. They just had one daughter, whom he loved, he said. But she really wanted a child, so they went there to pray, and he heard the word, "Go to my mother." And they began to pray the family rosary, and he said, "Here's little Mary." She was the fruit of that prayer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So today we ask you all to pray with us in thanksgiving to God for our anniversary. This is specifically, it's Father Joseph's anniversary of entrance, 25 years. Our community started, the anniversary date was yesterday. But to pray for Mother Angelica, to pray in thanksgiving to God for the graces He's given us throughout these years, the perseverance He's granted us. We depend totally on the Lord, and we praise God, especially for our foundress this day, for the great things He has done for her. And I know personally, I mean, for me, it's just she's such an inspiration for her zeal. And I know the older I get, I think about that. You know, she took on so many responsibilities, and when she could have not taken on those responsibilities, you know. And took the Maalox, had one foot in the air, one foot in the ground, and stepped out in faith. And so we thank you, Mother, and we thank you for your prayers and sufferings, and for all the sisters, of course, our sisters in Christ who pray for us. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back in a minute with the Students for Life of America. Don't go away. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, welcome back to Life on the Rock. I'm Doug Barry, along with Father Mark. We are your Rock House compadres, and as I like to always say to you listeners and viewers out there, this is the most important place you could be at this moment of your life. So just feel comfortable that you're here. All right. Good to see you, Father.
Good to see you, Doug.
And our guests tonight, Kristin Hawkins and Meghan Redman from the Students for Life of America.
Thanks for having us.
It's huge. Students for Life of America. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you are a pro-life group.
Yes.
And you're in over 7 million universities in the U.S.?
Over 700.
Over 700.
Yeah.
700 million. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
700 universities.
700.
Let's clarify.
700.
It is 700, over
Yes.
700
Yeah.
universities. Yeah, before we get into that, though, let's do this. Why are you here? Let's start with you, because you are you're the numero uno.
The executive director.
That's
slash janitor,
Yeah.
slash IT coordinator.
Chief bottle washer.
Yes, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Of Students for Life of America. Tell us a little bit about yourself, though, personally, and what got you to the point of being the executive director, chief bottle washer of this organization.
Well, I started out in high school. I started volunteering for a crisis pregnancy center.
See, that's amazing, because most people start out from the womb and grow up as a baby. For you to go right to high school.
I was advanced. I was advanced.
Did you get that? Was that good?
I started in the pro-life movement, working at a crisis pregnancy center in Steubenville, Ohio.
How do you say that?
Steubenville.
Steubenville.
I had to say on air. The father asked.
Yes.
Working at a crisis pregnancy center. Okay. And I walked in, and the women there were so excited to have me, because I was 15 years old, and I was the same age as a lot of the clients. And so they wanted to get me in counseling with these girls who are walking in, who are my age and sometimes even younger. And so I started there. I had just a transformational summer. It changed my whole perspective on life, where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be. So I went back to my high school, and I started a high school pro-life group. Then I went to college, and I started a college pro-life group. The pro-life movement got me into the political world, which got me to Washington, D.C. And then I was hired as the first full-time employee of the organization in 2006.
Oh, okay. And now, to get to the position that you're in now, were there a lot of dangerous things? Did you, a lot of like underhanded things, you know, move people out of the way to get to where you're at? I mean,
No. I was the first full-time employee ever, so I was the only one willing to say, I'll do this. We will go full-time.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to imply there's any sort of, you know, funny shenanigans going on behind the scenes, but you know.
You know those DC
well,
types.
DC. That's why. That's why I brought it up.
Center of power. I know what you're getting at.
Politics. You know, not that I would imply there's any corruption in politics either. Heaven forbid. We would never go there.
Episode.
That's a whole other show. Exactly. Okay, so you're running this organization now, and this is full time. But you're also your first vocation is you are a married woman.
Yes, I am.
And a mother.
Yes.
Tell us about your other half.
My husband and I met the first day of my freshman year of high school. He was a senior and I was a freshman. Scandalous. And
Sorry. Producers know we do not advocate that type of arrangement and dating situation for any parents out there. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. So go ahead.
We started dating in high school, and we dated all throughout college, and we got married after we graduated.
Okay.
So we've been married for 6 years, and we have 2 little boys, Gunner, who's 3, and Bear, who's 2.
Gunner and Bear.
Yes, yes.
Wow. So does Gunner go after Bear when they're playing?
They go after each other equally. We're setting them up for their future careers with their names. My husband's hoping football. I have other aspirations.
Yeah, I saw football all over that one. That's definitely not politics, you know.
I actually think they're great political names, though.
Well, it would be fun, but you can just see the opposition using it in
perfect in football. Perfect.
Well,
football.
yeah, but opposition in politics, you know, Senator.
Don't mess with the Bear.
Senator Bear.
Don't mess with Bear.
Don't mess with the Bear. Oh, that'd be good. I like that.
I'm already thinking.
Yeah. Now, Meghan is one of your chief.
She's our success story.
Initiative leaders. Okay, all right. In this initiative that we're going to be really focusing on tonight, you're all over. But before we get to that, let's let the audience wonder what that is. Meghan Redman, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I actually started a lot like Kristin. I started a pro-life club when I was in high school, and immediately just saw a need for education on prenatal development and everything regarding the whole debate. So I started that, and then shortly after that I went to SF State in California, San Francisco State, and I started a pro-life club there as well. Had a great, great drive to educate San Franciscans.
Did you have a lot of resistance?
A lot of resistance, actually, not surprisingly. But a some great friendships came out of it, and surprisingly met a lot of other pro-life people, a handful of us at least.
Let's talk about that a little bit. How did you overcome, and what kind of involved grace and work and help from friends?
Yes, prayer every day. And we were just, you know, I was really a naive freshman, and I got out there and I tabled, and I had magazines, and I would just politely hand out magazines on the San Francisco State campus. Granted, a lot of them went to the trash right after I handed them out, but just perseverance, and we flyered a lot on campus. We just tried our best. That's the, you know, you got to try, and you got to go out, and we had some great debates, some great discussions. That's what I remember the most, is just having some good, you know, conflict. But from that comes, you know, we both learn new things, and you get better at debating, and you get better at knowing, okay, where are they coming from? You know, how do I understand that? How do I learn how to debate that better next time?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what advice would you give maybe to a young person who's in college, the same situation? How do you engage somebody that's maybe, you know, very pro-choice?
Well, Students for Life of America trains you very well.
She's gonna give it to me.
You have to be knowledgeable, and you have to study the topic. And it starts with the basics. You know, they always try to get away from the topic of the personhood of and the dignity of the human person. They get off on tangents. So you have to really always bring it down. What is the embryo? You know, what is that conceived being? And it is a human person, and from day one it needs to be protected. So it just, you always have to steer them back to the real issue. Right. You know, forget all the jargon that comes with the debate. There's a lot. So it just takes a lot of education.
Now, Meghan, a question I have for you is, you talk about tabling and flying.
Flyering.
And these are great terms that for the people out there who don't realize that, you know, we have now terminology, a lexicon, if you will, of pro-life.
We have a pro-life dictionary.
There you go, exactly. And what were you doing? We were tabling and then flyering, and then, wow, so you were flying off of tables. I mean, you know, but what you're describing, let me get to the point here, is that you're going into a place like San Francisco University. Not that they have a reputation of being a bit on the liberal side, but they do. And you're dealing with numbers of people, and you're handing out flyers and magazines, and you're literally seeing them being dropped in the trash right after. There's a lot of people who would be in a situation like that and think, okay, what keeps you doing it again and again and again? Because this is, and I want to say this too, there's a mystery here, I think, because it's very easy to get discouraged, yes, but even to look at it and say, what's the point?
Yeah.
When so few people seem to embrace or respond. Okay, what is the point that keeps you still tabling and flyering and you know, hang gliding and whatever else you do?
Yes.
What is it that keeps you doing it?
Because out of those 10 people that might throw it in the trash, there is someone you see walk away with it opened, reading it. There is someone that leaves it on the library table and it's there for the next person. That could be the next pregnant person on campus or the next person that counsels their friend and they learn a new fact. Oh my gosh, abortion hurts women? Wow. And it's a new concept to them. I mean, that was a revolutionary idea, and if they are willing to, you know, just even open it and read something in that HLA, Human Life Alliance, wonderful magazine, you know, they learn something and it sticks. And then the next day in their dorm, when they're faced with that issue themselves or their friend or their roommate, then they're able to, you know, it's just. You're planting seeds.
So, and
You're planting seeds.
And I think there is a real mystery to this whole point, and it goes to the mystery of the effort of Christ even coming into the world and dying for sinners, knowing that so many would reject the cross. And he sees this in the agony in the garden. This has been, a spiritual, meditation for so many people for many, many years now, is that he saw all those who would reject his gift. And still to this day, we see these. We reject life. We reject the beauty of the foundation of marriage. We reject the dignity and the value of every individual. And there's something that, you're describing, even something that isn't to the real heart and the root of what drives you. The one person may open it, the one may leave it on a table, but ultimately the very bottom line at the very end of the day is that a life may be saved.
Yes.
An individual may appreciate the value of this mystery of God's life.
And you're called to do it.
And we're called to,
you're not called
be
to
on
be
that
successful.
field.
You're called to be there and to be that witness and to do it. And if you believe that abortion is the greatest human genocide our world has ever faced, and if you believe that we're all created in the image of God, then you have to be out there doing it. And it doesn't matter what somebody might say to you at San Francisco State or what your professor may say to you in class. You know that you are called to be there as a human being, as a Christian. That's your duty.
It makes me think of even of St. Anthony, who, would preach to the fish, and he preached to the fish, Father, why? Because nobody in the town would listen to him. That's the idea of it, right? Oh, fine, I'll go out here and preach, and the fish all stuck their heads out of the water, and kind of went along with it,
And what's so amazing about this generation is that, we've been told for so long this is a pro-choice country, that abortion's legal, just get over it. But what's so amazing about this generation is that we're actually pro-life. This is a pro-life generation. Generation Y, the millennial generation, recognizes that there's something fundamentally wrong with abortion. Abortion is not seen as a good thing on campus. That's why no one talks about it. So we actually have a really big opportunity right now in our nation's history to turn the tide, because we're the first generation since Roe v. Wade and Doe versus Bolton that's pro-life in their youth. Normally people get more conservative the older they get, but we're starting out conservative on this issue according to every pollster out there. And they're generally worried about abortion rights and where
I've become more conservative now that I'm, in my early 30s. But see,
I caught that.
but don't you think that as a nation, that the human being in general is really, in essence, pro-life, except for the lies that they're fed?
Exactly.
Because
We start out being pro-life.
Yeah, we do. And
my 2-year-old son knows that an aborted image, he saw an aborted baby image not too long ago on Facebook. My husband had his Facebook up. And Gunnar looked at it, and at the time he wasn't speaking, so he said, say for baby. And he pointed at the computer and said, say. My 2-year-old son knew it was a baby. We all know it's a baby. And that's what we're not debating on the campuses. Because of 4D and 3D ultrasound, you don't have to debate that it's a baby. We all know that, duh. What we're debating is that baby a person with rights, just like the mom, just like
Which
you.
is the primary emphasis of the pro-abortion side, is to keep keep burying
Sure.
people in the ideas or in the lies that it's not a human being. I mean, for the longest time, it was just a clump of cells, a clump of tissue. But now with the 3D and the 4D and the ultrasounds and these things, okay, that kind of blows those arguments out of the water.
They
So
can't
now
use
they're
that.
left with just trying to say that it doesn't, that it's not truly alive, or truly human. You know, and so really, it's by nature we're pro-life. I mean, there's a natural law to this, and it's just trying to get rid of these arguments, these lies that are just burying in the hearts and
They're
minds of
lies
people.
that are being fed by an industry that profits from abortion.
Right.
So Francis Kiesling, former president of Catholics for Choice, came out a couple years ago and was talking about this. She was mentioning this, of how we have a problem in the pro-choice movement, she said, because of the increasing humanity of the fetus, because of the ultrasound. We have to use different rhetoric. We need to change it. And you'll see it now. You'll see it nationally when they're talking about there's a war on women, or this is attacking women's rights. They're not ever talking about the fetus, the
Right.
embryo, the child, because everybody knows a pregnant woman who's facing an unplanned pregnancy can go to Google and she knows exactly what her child looks like. It's not a mystery anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can get it from Google now, folks.
Yeah.
You can actually go online and do a search. What does my baby look like at any stage of the pregnancy? And you'll find it right there. Okay, we're going to run to a break. Be right back and get into a lot more about the Students for Life of America. Kristin and Meghan with us here. Don't go away. We'll be back after this. Trying to keep the dignity here. I don't care about my dignity. Welcome back to Life on the Rock. Doug Berger here along with Father Mark, and we have Kristin Hawkins with us, who is the chief bottle washer and #1 guru of the Students for Life of America, and Meghan Redman, who is the success story of this new initiative primarily, right?
Yes.
All right, let's address that right away, because we have a video we're going to get to in a couple minutes here. What is this new initiative that Students for Life of America is involved in?
We started the Pregnant on Campus initiative this August. And really why we started was because of what Meghan was doing in Sacramento, some other students in St. Louis that were doing, of trying to really take what we're talking about in the pro-life movement of helping women in need on campus and finding tangible ways to support pregnant and parenting women on campus. So a few years ago, the students at St. Louis University started a scholarship fund they raised $60,000. They offer $500 scholarships to pregnant or parenting students on campus. Helps buy books. It's not a big amount of money, $500. And the student advisor came up to me. We were meeting in a coffee shop in St. Louis, and he said, you know, I just had a girl come up to me and say she didn't have her abortion because of our scholarship. $500. $500 is nothing when you consider the cost of raising a child.
So what was it, do you think,
It
about
was
that
the hope.
that impacted her?
It was the hope that one person on campus said, it's okay, we're here to help you and we care about you. That's all it took to save a life, was $500. And so I started thinking about, well then Meghan, she was in Sacramento, and so Meghan started doing some really unique and exciting things on her campus too, because of her story with Jessica, which she needs to talk about a little bit. But so Meghan started doing these things. So we started thinking, we've got to have some sort of initiative that we're taking what we're telling students, what we're talking about at the conferences, and we're breaking it down. So we started the Pregnant on Campus initiative, which you can go to our website, pregnantoncampus.com. It's the offshoot of our studentsforlife.org website. And it just breaks down very simple. There's simple and advanced things that you can do on your campus that will make a real difference, that are actually going to save lives, because you are going to provide the support that woman in the moment of crisis feels that she has no support. So the video you're going to watch is of John Scharffen, who was our Pregnant on Campus coordinator. John was one of our missionaries for life. He was a student at Ave Maria University, president of our Students for Life group. And we hired John last summer to come on full time with us and to lead this initiative. And this October, just about a week after he had his first baby saved at Florida International University through this initiative, he and Courtney Gordon and Courtney's 22-week preborn daughter, Sophie, were killed by a drunk driver leaving one of our conferences in Georgia. So we are so thankful that we have this video of John, because he was only with us for a short time. Courtney had been with us for over a year, but she was a true abortion abolitionist. So we're really thankful that we have this video to show today.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to it now then. This is a video on the Pregnant on Campus initiative. Take a look at this.
Hey, my name is John Scharffen. I'm the director of the Pregnant on Campus initiative. And we're on a college campus. We're going to be asking students whether they have any pregnant or parenting resources on the campus. Let's go. Hey guys, can I ask you a quick question? Yeah. Do you know where the diaper decks on campus are?
Diaper deck?
Change my baby.
Oh. Well, I've got a map right here. I can see.
Maybe bathrooms or their student center, maybe. I'm just looking to change your baby. I don't know if you have any of those on campus or anything like that. Probably not.
So.
No?
I'm not sure.
All right, it's all right. I'll see if there's anyone else can help me out.
Yeah,
Thank you, though. Appreciate it. I'm looking for the daycare center on campus. Do you have any whereabouts where that maybe is? No?
I just got here 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right, no problem. I'll try to ask someone else. Thank you, though. How you doing? I have a quick question. Are there any lactation rooms on campus?
Yeah, what kind of rooms?
Lactation rooms to feed a baby. Do you know if there's any daycare center on campus or any of that?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Don't think so? Okay. No, thank you anyways, though. I'll see. Okay, I don't know if you know any diaper decks I can change my baby or no? Not that you're aware of. No daycare center. Hey, ma'am. Do you know if there's a daycare center on campus that I can
I would have no idea. I'm really sorry, but I bet you if you go to the really huge building, I think it's Lee Hall, they could probably help you there, because they have like all the nice people who know things there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice people. The nice people. Yes.
Your daughter's precious.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, girls. Can I ask you a quick question? Is there a daycare center on campus I can take my child?
I have no idea. I don't know. Sorry.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you anyways. Hey, sir. Do you know if there's a daycare center on campus?
No, there's not.
There's not? Okay. Well, this is nice. It's a nice stroll. Helping pregnant women on campus for this semester. So that'll be the goal. Very nice. I have a quick question. Do you have a pregnancy resource center on campus?
The pregnancy resource center? Yeah, we have a health center here.
That's done. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you know if there's any pregnant or parenting housing on campus for students with babies? Would you happen to know? Or
I'm not sure, actually.
not?
Wait,
for pregnant or parenting students on campus? Because I have a baby and I just wanted to know if there are any on campus or not.
If there's any what? I don't think so.
Housing for pregnant or parenting students?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
People I know that have children live on campus.
Oh, do you know? Okay. But they live off campus?
They live on campus.
Okay, thank you though. Appreciate it. Do you know if there's any diaper decks on campus to change the baby? Okay, thank you. Diaper decks on campus? No, nothing. No pregnancy resource centers at all. I know. I know, I'm not that good looking or anything like that. Guys, do you know if there's any lactation rooms or rooms to feed a baby on campus?
I don't know of any.
Yeah.
I'm a freshman here.
Thank you guys. Do you know if there's any pregnant or parenting housing on campus for students with babies? I'm not sure. All right, thank you. No pregnant or parenting resources on this campus at all. Hey guys, do you mind if I ask you a question? Do you know if there's any diaper decks on campus where I can change my baby?
Not that I know of.
No? Okay, thank you.
Wow. I mean, the questions are pretty direct and the answers are pretty clear.
And just to make a note, that wasn't John's baby. That was a friend's baby, who we called and said, "Can we use your daughter for a day?" And that was, John was one of my favorite people, but he was willing to take my crazy idea of let's go on a campus with a guy with a baby and ask these really weird questions to see if anybody knows there's any resources on campus. Yeah. And it was pretty obvious at the very beginning of the day that there was nothing on campus, and even if there had been anything on campus, no one knew about it.
Now, for those out there watching, they might see this and think, well, you're talking about college students, and if they're married, they probably would have, a spouse to care for them back at their residence or place of where they live in their house. Why is this so important to be bringing up on college campuses? Because some of the statistics you were saying before the show are a bit unnerving.
Yeah.
Okay, so explain why this is very pertinent and why it is very important to address this on college campuses.
Sure. I mean, if you look at the majority of abortions are performed on college-age women. 46% of abortions are on college-age women. You also look at the statistics from the CDC, which show you that 80% of unmarried college women are engaging in premarital sex. And then you look at the statistics of, well, it's actually not a statistic, it's science, the women's fertility rates. Women in the most fertile stage of life when they're in college. So you have all these things adding up, right? And you know that the abortion industry and Planned Parenthood, they target on campus, they have their pamphlets in the campus health center, they have their buses shuttling girls to the abortion facility. If you go onto any college campuses, I dare you to find a visibly pregnant woman. There's pregnant women walking around all the time, but they don't remain pregnant. And the question is, where have all the pregnant women gone on campus? And it's an uncomfortable topic, I think, sometimes for Christians to talk about this subject, because we don't want to be condoning premarital relations. Obviously, we're not about that. But the question is, what do you do after the fact? After she's already conceived and she's now a mother, and she's on campus, and she's looking at herself saying, there's no way out. She has tunnel vision, and the only thing she sees is her baby is going to destroy her life as she knows it. She's not going to be able to finish her school. Her parents are going to kill her. She's going to have all these loans and no education. And there's nowhere on campus that she can go to have her child and to stay in school.
And when she does go on campus, because the one place she goes to is obviously the Student Health Center, the one thing they tell her is, here's the closest places where you can have an abortion. You can, subsidize it or, get it for cheap, and off you go. And that's the only thing.
So they're not even getting the options at the University Health Center or whatever version they have of any resources to help them keep the baby.
It would be inconceivable to the nurse to even offer something else. I mean, you're a student. Don't you want to finish school? Of course you're going to choose abortion, and I'm going to help you.
And that's one of the biggest lies of the abortion industry, because they talk about giving women choice and giving women options, and you want to complete your career, you want to complete your education, you want to be successful. But what they tell women is really, you can't be successful. You can't have a child and get your education. You can't have your child and go into a successful career. You have no other choice than abortion. So of course you're going to choose abortion. That's the real lie of the whole pro-choice mantra. The woman feels she has no other choice. You don't see women going into abortion facilities on Saturday mornings, skipping in enthusiastically. They're looking down, they're crying when they go in, and they're crying when they leave. Because they know, we all know, we're fundamentally pro-life, and there's something wrong with abortion. The question is, will she feel like she has any other way out?
And doesn't it make sense too? I mean, if we were truly pro-choice as a nation, if you want to really use that term for the sake of this point, we would be providing these options. Sure. They would be saying to them, well, abortion industry, yes, we can provide an abortion through here, here, and here. And of course we have birthright over here, and emergency pregnancy centers here, and they would be providing both, but they're not even doing that.
Go into a Planned Parenthood and ask them where the local OB/GYN is, or what type of vitamins you should be taking if you decide to keep your child. I guarantee you, they will have no idea. I've done it when I was pregnant. I went in and I just said, what options are there if I decide to keep this baby? And there's nothing available, because that's not what they're about. They're about selling birth control and abortions.
Right, because it's money.
It's a business.
Right, right.
Yeah. And on the alternate side, the life centers, that are the promoting life, they tell you this is what abortion is, this is what it looks like. They sit down, you watch a movie all about abortion, this is what your ultrasound looks like. I mean, there's no secrets. We're the ones, you know, the pro-life centers are the ones that really lay out all the choices and say this is what adoption looks like, this is what abortion looks like, and this is what parenting looks like. And we're going to help you in these situations, and even if you have an abortion, we're going to help you get through that pain and suffering and regret too. And
the statistics of those women who have that information revealed to them, you know, an ultrasound of their own baby.
90%.
Oh yeah, 90. I've heard this from people who, the different groups that go to the campuses with the mobile ultrasounds. Over 90%, give or take, those women are saying, "Whoa!" Once they see what's inside of them, they can't go through with it.
Total turnaround.
So it's just a matter of the truth. Just tell them the truth. Just let them see the truth. Yeah. Wow, powerful stuff here. All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, more with the Students for Life of America. Don't go away. Be back after this. Welcome back to Life on the Rock for our fourth and final segment of our show. Quite a show. Students for Life of America and the Pregnant on Campus initiative. Powerful, powerful work. I mean, the video we saw of John there talking about just the basic questions that any mother or father, new mother or father would have anywhere they go, changing diapers, you know, taking care of your baby in one way or another, especially if you're going to the university of some sort. And you say overwhelmingly universities don't have any real organized care or facility set up for these students in these situations. Pretty tragic. I mean, it really is. You know, in a nation as incredible as we are, why can we not get this done? So this initiative is important because we need to inject a little stimulus here to wake this up. But now, Meghan, you were impacted pretty powerfully early on in your pro-life career by someone named Jessica. Could you please tell the audience about Jessica?
Okay, well, I'll just kind of branch off from what I was saying earlier. After San Francisco State, I actually went to Sacramento State. And there at Sacramento State, I also began another pro-life club with the help of SFLA. And again, I was tabling, same story, repeat, you know, same effort. And it was on the first week of school that I had met a few girls, a lot of people, but one in particular named Jessica. And we had a nice conversation, and she actually was post-abortive. She had just had her second abortion actually at Sacramento State, and she came to me saying that she wanted to be in the pro-life club to prevent other women from making the same mistake she did. And if only I had been at the campus a year earlier, possibly we could have prevented that second abortion from happening. Because a lot of times, all a girl needs, actually all the time, all of what pregnant girl needs is a helping hand. It really is so true. And we have to make sure we're that helping hand. So anyways, I met Jessica. She joined the Pro-Life Club. We got her to a wonderful Rachel's Vineyard retreat, which is a post-abortion healing retreat. And I still remember the day picking her up after that retreat. She looked like a new woman. The only way I could recognize her was that she was the only African American in the group, and she was just beaming of light. It was so if you know anyone that has had an abortion, please bring them to a Rachel's Vineyard retreat. It was the best thing. She recommitted herself to chastity, and she began 100% in the pro-life club. We did a lot of great work. We held our big part of our club was helping student mothers from the get-go, and so we had a baby shower on campus. So we planned that. We advertised for student mothers on campus. We had a handful of them come. The next semester, Jessica came to me. She said that she did not want to be a part of the club anymore, and that really shocked me. I couldn't imagine her not being a part of the club. This was over text. and she wouldn't answer my phone calls, and I came to find out that she was actually pregnant, and very distraught and distressed over and anxious about the whole situation, having been in the situation before, having made that commitment to chastity, and having graduation a year away. She did not want, even though she was pro-life, she just couldn't see her future, and just couldn't see having the baby. It wasn't a part of her life plan. And thankfully, you know, she came over to my house. We had a long discussion, and we, you know, I was able to tell her, like, I'm in this with you. Like, you can have this baby, you know, like, nothing's, you know, God allows things to happen for a reason, you know, and you know, we just have to trust in Him. And it was a very, you know, scary place to be. But she finally decided to choose life. The first sign that she was choosing life was she asked me to be the godmother of her baby. And of course, I leaped for joy and said, yes, of course, I would love to. And so with that, we started a new initiative within our pro-life club, and we decided that we needed to reach out more to student mothers on campus. We knew she wasn't the only one, and we knew that there was a need, obviously, for a change of attitude, a change of heart, that, you know, women are pregnant on campus and they conceal it. They hide it, or they drop out, or they, you know, take it out a semester.
So did Jessica had the baby? Is
yes,
she born?
Thankfully, yes, Jessica had the baby September 11th, actually, of 2011, Stefan Joseph. And he is only one of many in the student mothers group that eventually formed. We advertised, and slowly, as she was getting bigger, the group was getting bigger, and we had a whole slew of births in the summer and everything.
I think the story makes a great point in that it's a very scary place to be, you said. And I think, you know, folks, you got to think about this. You know, that is something for these women, college campus, a lot of them are away from home. And here they are in a situation, you can only imagine that moment sitting on the edge of the bed or sitting at the table, you know, and just the fear of realizing I'm pregnant now, I'm in college, my parents are going to, you know, be distraught over this. And if nobody reaches out, if we don't reach out, if we don't make a concerted effort to get out there, get in their lives and really let them know someone's there, as you did with Jessica, we're going to keep losing them. We're going to keep losing lives. You know, so what are the practical things, Kristin, that your organization does? We got about 5 minutes left, and then let's rattle some cages out there and get people involved. So.
Well, I mean, this is what social justice is about. You know, I hear social justice is the buzzword. You know, everyone's talking about social justice. What Meghan did with Jessica is social justice. She walked it with her. She helped repair the broken relationships in her life. And that's what we're talking about with the Pregnant on Campus initiative, is seeking social justice. And how do you do that on campus? It's by starting a parenting mothers group, by having a support group like Meghan did, where you gather together once, twice a month, and you have people from the community come in and say, here are resources for you. Here's how to be a good mom. Let's talk about discipline and breastfeeding and Lamaze and all those questions you may have that no one else is going to answer, that the campus health center is going to answer. You can do other things like starting a scholarship fund for pregnant parenting women. Just offering a few $100s a semester. Like I said with St. Louis University, it wasn't that they said, here's $10,000, this is a great reward for becoming pregnant. It was, here's $500 to help you out. And it wasn't the amount, it was the hope that saved that child. Holding diaper drives on campus, holding baby showers on campus for pregnant moms. We had a group at University of Washington just this semester, because of the initiative, has installed $12,000 worth of diaper decks in every bathroom on campus. Diaper decks are those bathroom changing stations. I can't tell you how many universities and even churches I've been to that don't have anywhere you can change your child.
You know, you mentioned that. I'm thinking of the hardware stores that I shop in back in Lincoln, Nebraska. The big box hardware stores.
They have them.
Like Lowe's, you know, and they have them in the men's room at a hardware store.
They better.
Well, that's the point, though, is if they got them there, why wouldn't they have them on
Exactly.
campuses?
And it's, you know what,
when you've got pregnant
and when I
mothers
talk
there.
to people about this, you know, a lot of our Students for Life groups, one of the first things they do when they start is start sidewalk chalking and putting up flyers on campus to advertise the local pregnancy resource center, and then to start kind of doing these things on campus. So doing a free babysitting night once a week, or trying to work with the administration to get housing for pregnant or parenting students. And you know, some schools students were saying, well, there's no one really on campus who's pregnant, so why are we doing this? It's kind of a waste of time. There may be only a couple students take advantage of it. And the way I described it was, I said, look, you have to leave signs of hope on that campus. Because when that girl was in that crisis pregnancy situation, most of the time, she's not going to walk up to you, hey, Kristin, you're the leader of the pro-life group on campus. Let me tell you about my unplanned pregnancy. How can you help me? No. She goes to Google, she texts her friends, she's trying to find out the local abortion facility. She might go to the campus women's center. So what you need to do as a pro-lifer is to leave signs of hope on that campus. So she can start thinking in her head, wait a minute, it might just be possible for me to be a mom and be a student. I saw a diaper deck. I saw a flyer a couple weeks ago about a free babysitting night. I saw this happening on campus. It might just be possible. You've got to plant that seed in her mind, because we know no one chooses abortion. She feels like she has no other choice, and you need to show her otherwise.
Well, and let's remember this. We got a minute and a half left, or just under that. I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the statistics. Over 80% roughly of college women out there are sexually active. 46% of abortions are taking place in the lives of college-age women. All right, we don't see pregnant women walking around campuses for a reason. Let's put these dots connected, okay? Let's put these numbers together and see what's really going on here.
It's the same for Christians and non-Christians.
That's the point I want to make clear.
It doesn't matter if it's a Christian university,
Christian campuses as well as just secular
Catholic
campuses.
University, most Christian university in the country. It doesn't matter. Women on that campus are engaging in premarital sex, and women are getting pregnant.
Right. And we need to be instruments of hope and light in this world, folks. So let's get busy with that. Okay, we've got 30 seconds. We've got to wrap this up here very quickly. Information to contact. What's the website?
I need people to go to studentsforlife.org. If you're a pro-life teen, college, law, med student, go to studentsforlife.org. There's a place for you in our movement, and it'll tell you everything you need to know how to get involved. Facebook.com/studentsforlife, or our online action site for pro-lifers of all ages is abolishabortion.com.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you so much both for being here.
Thanks for
Father.
having me.
And just a reminder too that it seemed like a big important part is just the willingness to walk with them. That might be the scariest thing oftentimes, is they feel like they're alone. So if you're on a campus, you know, start something, be present to them, and the other stuff and ideas will come. Well, may our Heavenly Father shine His face upon you and give you His peace. And may Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. We'll see you next week.